Welcome to Smash Writing. I am your host today, Paul, for this episode. And for all your Star Wars fans, let's talk about the hopefully series finale of Obi-Wan Kenobi. And let's just review the season as a whole, because the last, I guess it would be 4 weeks, because they did 2 episodes in 1 week. A lot has rumors, speculations, and everything else like that about how will this fit with New Hope, with some of the dialogue. And let's just break down the series. And I keep this because we were originally told this was a limited series, but there's been rumors that there are scenes cut to maybe add additional season if needed, or spin-offs or something, and everything else like that. Please, for the love of God, I think these rumors are kind of shut down. Because I think this series cleared up a lot of those, the series finale cleared up a lot of those rumors. If you haven't watched the series, or you haven't watched the finale today, please don't watch this video. I'm not going to try to spoil it for you, but I can't hold it in either. So, let's just get right to it. I thought the storytelling from start to finish was excellent. Really was. They gave you a pace, but not a slow pace. They made sure they stayed within canon. Now, we know that canon is very, very important to the Star Wars lore. And they wanted to make sure they did it. There was a couple of interviews with the producer saying they know canon is important. They followed the canon. They had to do the canon. So much hype with this series. Bringing back Hayden Christensen, which gave that feel that it was still a vicious, young Darth Vader. Which, mind you, he would only be like 30, so still a relatively very young. I'm 32, so I'm at that age as well, and I feel pretty young. Anyway, bringing back Ian McGregor to be Obi-Wan, great touch. Passing the torch along to him, I think it's more his character now. Let's not take away anything from Alex. God rest his soul. But no doubt that when you envision Obi-Wan, for my generation, I'm envisioning who it should be. Introduction of the third sister, being a youngling who faked her death so she didn't get killed by Anakin Skywalker, who was Darth Vader at that point, but just without the black suit. And kind of giving her story arc that she literally went through everything to get as close to Darth Vader as possible, to not be on his side, but to kill him for killing the only family she ever known. Now, you also saw Obi-Wan's transformation too, that after 10 years of not using the Force, not using his lightsaber skills, that it's kind of the old saying is, if you don't use it, you lose it. But as he goes through the process of saving Leia, then having to protect Luke at the end, you see him get back into shape. And everybody wants to know about the epic battle between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. Now, we've seen in mid-season or mid-series, while Obi-Wan was still weak, that, Darth Vader just ran the table on him, but not to the point of killing, which is still Darth Vader's weakness. After all, he wants Obi-Wan to suffer and not die. Well, if somebody's strong and they're weak, you want to take advantage of that. Darth Vader didn't. He let his anger, continue to blind him, which, you see the resemblance of Anakin Skywalker in maturity still there. Mind you, at the end of the day, Darth Vader's still a young Darth Vader. He's only 33. Now, the epic fight is what we've all been leading up to. Could it have been better? Sure. Did it need to be better? Probably not. It gave us a good lightsaber duel of older characters. They went back and forth. Darth Vader shows he can still move. Now, once again, I will say this, in spoiler, Obi-Wan gets the upper hand in the end. Maybe because he touched into the dark side a little bit to get the anger. And he knows how to beat Vader. He went for the chest plate, which we've seen in comics that, that is a weakness of Vader because that controls his life support system that keeps him breathing. And Obi-Wan was smart enough to go right for it. Once again, getting to Darth Vader's weakness. And it's not his chest plate that is his actual weakness. It's his ego. Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker, has always been very powerful. We know that. But his one downfall, and we've seen in Revenge of the Sith, was his ego, his overestimating his power. Now, in Obi-Wan, who may not be the strongest Jedi, and we know that, still takes advantage of what he sees in front of him. Darth Vader should have killed Obi-Wan. Now we know he eventually does, but once again, Obi-Wan sacrificed himself, even though Obi-Wan in New Hope is much, much older and so forth. So the fight was pretty good with the Force too. I think they did a good job at keeping Vader strong, but yet preaching at how good Obi-Wan Kenobi can be in a duel or to complete the mission. The third sister, Reva, she kind of takes the Anakin Skywalker approach. She gets redeemed because deep in her heart, she was never actually evil or wanted to be evil. She just wanted revenge. She has a chance to kill Luke. And that would have changed everything about Star Wars. There would have been no father versus son. Darth Vader might have had to find another apprentice. And we know Galen Merrick idea could still be floating out there in the near future if Disney wants to make that part of the Legends canon. But nevertheless, she goes and she wants to kill him, but deep down, she knows that she can't. She brings Luke back to Owen and Ruth, with where Obi-Wan now arrives from dropping off, leaving Leia with the path and battling Darth Vader. Now we see that, he's probably shocked that Reva or the third sister didn't do anything, but she reveals that she couldn't do it. And then she asks Obi-Wan, am I like him? And Obi-Wan replies the best answer is that, no, you made a choice. You're free now. Go on. Now, once again, spoilers. Darth Vader is now back at his castle in Mustafar. He is back to full health. And what I mean by full health was he was never... His chest plate system was beat up. His mask came partially off, which was a good touch. The only thing I wanted more was just because we've seen it in the comics that, and it's been preached that, Darth Vader's so intact with the Force that he can use partial the Force for a brief time to hold his ground with his system completely failed. But you do get to see the half mask, half faces of Darth Vader, which Obi-Wan literally just mind fucks him basically by basically saying, I'm not going to finish you. I'm just going to leave you here and let you think about that. Once again, you can't beat me. And he is ticked, but he doesn't do much after that. Obi-Wan! And, he reveals to Obi-Wan that, after Obi-Wan sees his face and goes, Anakin, and Darth replies, I've destroyed Anakin like I'm going to destroy you. I don't know if that's a mental game too, and they're both playing mental games, so it's like kind of checkmate. Who knows? But Darth Vader ends being backed into a brand new suit, which we know through the comics that, I think in the comics, really, the suit is iconic, but it's not really armor. We know that. He has robotic limbs, but the suit doesn't enhance the robotic limbs. The chest plate, is the controllers for his life support. The suit is just really just a cover-up of his body. It's armor, but it's not a life support. This life support's already in him. The chest plate controls it. And boom, we get our first major cameo, and that is of the Emperor talking to Darth Vader through a hologram. And they're talking about their missions and stuff like that, but then the Emperor reveals, you holding on to your past is making you weak. Basically meaning let Obi-Wan go. There are bigger things to fry, but once again, in Darth Vader's mind, Anakin's mind, he wants Obi-Wan. That was the final battle between those two until New Hope. Then Obi-Wan goes and sees Leia on Alderaan, and basically everybody's been talking about the New Hope line, where the line seems to indicate she goes, General Kenobi, you served with my father in the Clone Wars, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of people thought, okay, how are they going to botch that? How are they going to change that? Because mind you, Star Wars back then was never going to be like this. Nobody thought it was, so they had to do it as they go. Now Disney is just trying to fill the gaps, which for the most part for the fans, I think we all agree that they are doing an overall good job. There was rumors that she only knew him as Ben and everything else like that, so maybe she was talking to Obi-Wan Kenobi, but not Ben Kenobi. I think they put that down, because in the final scene of Leia and Obi-Wan, she calls him Obi-Wan. Now, Obi-Wan tells her that their knowledge of each other must and always remain a secret, for it could be dangerous for the both of them if everybody knew the truth. And that's how you can take a line from A New Hope that people been holding on to for a month after watching the series and go, they kept it a secret. Not overthinking it. They kept it a secret. Obi-Wan then goes back to Tatooine and cleans up his hut. Sees Owen. Owen still gives him the cold shoulder and want, but because of him coming to the rescue with the third sister, he goes, you want to meet the boy officially. And he does. And then Obi-Wan goes on his merry way. Second big cameo right here. Who do we see into the desert as a Force ghost, Qui-Gon Jinn, played by Liam Neeson, Obi-Wan's master. And Qui-Gon Jinn reveals he's always been here. You just, like, he'll always be here. And then he fades, and the series ends. We do not need any more spin-offs we do not need another second season of Obi-Wan. I'm not saying that we can't see Obi-Wan again, but we don't need a second season. If they did edit that battle or change some scenes to make a season 2, that's going to be their downfall. They don't need to do that. They can continue having, because we know Hayden Christensen is going to be in the Ahsoka season as well. You can keep these two actors around for many, many years to come. Even Hayden Christensen playing a Darth Vader, with his character mostly being prosthetics, you can maybe do a Darth Vader series. A true Darth Vader series. And that's because there's still stories to tell as the black suit. There's his literally coming off the operating table and then going into Obi-Wan Kenobi. And then, seeing why he was feared. And then, the New Hope, where he's more laid back because now he's wiser. He's not aggressive. Because I think, you got to see that he's learning through his young days that being aggressive is not actually working for him. He's often failing overall his complete mission. He wanted to kill Obi-Wan, failed twice. So they did a good job, though, with making what original Star Wars fans thought would just him be watching Luke grow up from a distance. They did a good job at covering up the Obi-Wan General Kenobi line from New Hope while still making it relevant. They did all of this good job. They even, though they could have done more, they even showed us why Darth Vader is powerful. Him pulling down the ship. Him shredding it. Giving the lightsaber duels like a good lightsaber duel. Instead of the they made him do his thing. He was at good speed with the lightsaber duel. Really, once again, he lost to Obi-Wan because he didn't go for the kill shot. I mean, yeah, he threw rocks on him, but Obi-Wan did the same and he survived. He just broke his chest plate. The only part of that I probably want to see more was him maybe battling without the mask on, with the broken chest plate, just to show you that with the Force with him is still so strong. This is definitely a rewatchable series for any Star Wars fans. The cameos was a good touch. I think since Disney took over and they did add the cameos, that they do such a good job with the cameos. They don't overuse them, but they're satisfying. I thought the action was good, if not great. I thought the storytelling for both characters of Obi-Wan and Darth Vader were good. Once again, they kept Darth Vader to a minimum, because obviously the show wasn't about him. But every scene he was in, you were glued to. You got to see the lightsaber duels that, it can be a discussion, at least, when I'm doing a solo episode, regarding if they should remake the old films with today's actors that we got to give us something like that. I'm going to give overall this series probably a 95%. I'm giving it an A+. The only thing, like I said, is that they could have done more to make it an S tier type of show was maybe giving Darth Vader more power to show that he is as strong as they need him to be, which they did, but they could have done more. Like I said, going out of the chest plate, that would have been crazy. I think fans would have flipped out and go, "Oh my God, he's surviving without the chest plate," which he did, but he was like just being alive. I think that was probably the only thing stopping it. I think they did fill the gaps in with the whole Leia, and the one line that everybody preached. I will say this. If they do a season 2, I do think this will hurt the story that they told. Even though they said canon is important, they know the canon, leave this as a limited series. Until next time, guys, and my Star Wars fans. Bye-bye.